Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Bebop here, and today we're going to be going over the Firestaff and Ice Gauntlet. That's right, the dreaded Firestaff, one of the best weapons in PvP, super OP, super good. So let's go over it. The Firestaff is only going to scale with intelligence, if you look right here, and the IG will scale with intelligence also. So you got two weapons that you only have to spec into one thing to get damage on them, which is really good starting off. You don't have to decide where you're going to put all your stuff. Now other points and other, like 50 strength, that will come in later. That will come in handy later, so keep that in mind. But right now all you would need to worry about is scaling into intelligence. See how the numbers are going up right there? That's all you would need to do, and then you would assign it like that. And then you go to the weapons, and how I feel that you want to spec out the Firestaff for starting off for ranking up PvE purposes. And a lot of these build videos, I've gone over them and with a PvE mindset as far as you're ranking up, and then eventually you'll get to PvP. By that time, you'll know what abilities to pick. I can make videos on that too if you wanted me to. I'm not a huge PvPer, but I do have some understanding. And I also have a lot of friends that PvP that I can send you to their channels if needed. So I would start off with Pillar of Fire, get your ability here. There's 155 weapon damage right off rip. So I would assign that. And that's going to allow you to put this little circle on the ground wherever you want. Boom, hit an enemy. Where's those target dummies at? Let's go, B. We're not even in the right spot. Oh my Jesus, he's burning everything over there. Let's go over here where we're a little bit solo. Get out of here, bro. I'm making a video. All right, so then you would just, boom, pop it on them, and it would do damage. And yeah, so that's a good ability. I don't know why I didn't show any damage numbers there. Hold up, what the hell? Can you not hurt these things? I mean, what the hell, bro? Okay, that ability sucks. No, but you would start off with this ability. All right, it does good on enemies. I'm sure if you see me play PvP, you've seen me hit people with this. So
everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Then I would select this one, heavy attacks, reduce Firestaff cooldowns by 10% on critical hit. And then while holding the Firestaff and above 50% mana, gain 5% end power. Now this one just unlocked from clicking that. If you wanted to, and you wanted to immediately, get a second ability, you would click this bottom one right here, Clear Mind. Then you would click the Fireball, and then you go up here to heavy attacks to reduce cooldowns. So you could do it either way you want, but you're going to be picking those dots first. All right, and then with the Firestaff, it's gonna do enough damage with these two that I'm gonna spec into damage perks in a bit, but I want to get you some movement speed. Okay, I want to get you some haste, because when you're ranking up, you want to get around the map quick. So I would select these two dots, which is gonna unlock the burnout. Okay, these dots attack deal 10% increased damage against targets with burn or smolder, and then dodging through an enemy melee attack inflicts a stack of smolder on foes, dealing 5% weapon damage for each second for 6 seconds. That opens up this. This is going to give you a nice dash forward, 18 meters, which is huge, through targets, dealing 130% weapon damage on hit. Passing through a target will inflict smolder on targets, dealing 5% weapon damage each second for 6 seconds. Okay, so now we got 3 abilities. And this one, you can start off, actually, a lot of people are going to start off with the Fireball first, which does really good damage. And then you can do the Q attack right there, follow up with that. And if you want to dash through enemies, you just dash through enemies like that. And it'll flick Smolder, which is right there, you see the burning. And you're good to go. And you can just start heavy attacking and doing some good damage here. And your abilities come back pretty quickly. As you can see on the heavies, they bring your cooldowns back really nicely. Now you're gonna have to keep an eye on your mana pots, which is the blue pots right here, which you're gonna need to keep on you for this build especially. But you're gonna be sipping these things non-stop, and people are gonna be selling them for a nice high price. So with this build, get ready, because you're gonna be using mana with both weapons, and that's gonna get expensive. So choose if you really want to rank up 2 int weapons at once starting out or not. I would say wait later on the IG. The Firestaff is so good. You can put whatever weapon you want back here. I just wouldn't want to use another one with it where I had to focus on mana pots a lot. You know, you could match this up with the rapier, or you could match it up with, let's say, the musket, or I mean, just anything would be great. You know, blunderbuss if you wanted to. Anything that doesn't use mana. So let's get back into the skill tree here before I get sidetracked too much. Now I would come back over here and let's start adding some damage perks. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's not do that first. We're going to add the haste. Critical hits with Firestaff inflict a stack of smolder, dealing 5% weapon damage for each second for 6 seconds. And then right here is where we're trying to get to. When you activate a Firestaff ability, gain 10% haste for 5 seconds. So now when we do our dash trying to get out of there, we're going to get some haste at the end right there for 5 seconds, and we're going to be faster. We can get around the map. One, you got an 18-meter dash, and then you got haste. And if anybody's in your way, they're going to get the burn brick. All right, now let's start adding some damage here. Fireball now applies a stack of smolder on targets, dealing 5% weapon damage for each seconds. And then direct hits restore 10% of your max mana and reduce Firestaff ability cooldowns. That's good to go. I'd come over here. While holding a Firestaff, your critical strike damage increased by 15%. Heavy attacks now trigger a 1 meter splash on impact. And then this one's really good too. Your Firestaff abilities gain an extra 10% chance to critical strike. And then you could select this dot right here. Pillar of Fire deals 5% more damage for each stack of smolder on the target, dealing 5% weapon damage for each second, and a max of 5 stacks. So let's say you're building up smolder on the enemy. You're constantly building up your stacks of smolder, and then you want to hit this, you'll get your max damage out of it. And now I got haste. So this movement, or this build, you're always going to have haste and be very powerful and have movement. It's a very, very good weapon to rank up with. And let's see here. We got 4 more dots. By this point, you're pretty much going to be familiar with the Firestaff, and you can go wherever you want. I would click this, light and heavy attacks, add another stack of smolder, max 5 stack. And then I would come over here when hitting a target within 4 meters of the player, create a field of fire around you, dealing 20% weapon damage to all nearby enemies for a 4 meter radius for 5 seconds. Got a 30-second cooldown. Whenever this pops up, to be able to take it, grab that, okay? I overlooked that, but that is huge. You want to get this Fire Mage side ultimate. Using a Firestaff ability places a 4 meter rune on the ground, increases your damage 20% while standing inside. The rune lasts for 7 seconds, 30-second cooldown. Okay, and then your last ability, you could choose if you want. Fortify, you can, but I would choose Smolder, last longer. Now, you build up your attacks or your smolder on the enemy, and then you can cast an ability which will get that fire rune on the ground, which looks so dope, and that's going to give you more damage while you're standing inside of it. And then you can dash through everybody, add some more stacks of smolder, and you're back. Your cooldowns are already here. So this weapon is extremely good for ranking up. Now, you don't have any crowd control or anything like that, but you got constant damage that's going to be going out, and you got the ability to separate with the dash. Just keep mana pots on you. IG is cool. We'll get into that next, and we'll talk about how you should rank that up. IG. All right. I wouldn't use IG with the Firestaff in this build, but if you wanted to and you want to sit mana pots all day, cool. There's things you could do with the IG for the offhand weapon I think would be most useful. It wouldn't be for damage. It's basically for distracting the enemies or holding them in a spot to let you back up, get some health or whatever. I would start off with the pylon, and that's going to basically allow you to put this down. It'll distract the enemy because it'll be shooting them, and you can come over here and loot a chest while they're over there, you know, messing with that. And then you can just get away, and you can cancel that pylon if you want by holding the ability button. If you see at the bottom right, if I hold it all the way up, boom, it'll go away. So that's what's really good about the Ice Gauntlet. You can distract enemies. And then I would immediately pick the shower. Summon a shower that deals frosted area, that creates a frosted area approximately 1 meter by 5 meters that lasts 4 seconds. Enemies enter the shower will become stricken with a powerful frostbite. Frostbite roots for 1 second, slows movement speed by 50%, and will remain on target for 3 seconds after exiting the shower. So that is extremely good to get. Now you can extend that duration to 7 seconds if you want. And if you get into it, you will apply yourself haste, so another movement ability. If they walk into it, they will get rend by 10%. So I would just go down the tree on that, and then I would come over here. I would select this, any basic attacks by sorry, any can't even talk today. Increase damage by basic attacks by 15% for targets within 15 meters of the player. Why was that so hard to read? And then on the Ice Storm, this would be your DPS, your damage perk. It creates basically a cloud of ice that deals damage to the enemy. It also creates a frost area that slows the enemy in it by 25%. And then I would just come down the tree because you want all the damage. Increased Ice Storm damage by 10% for each enemy, max 5 targets. So if there's 5 enemies in there, it's 50% increased damage. Really, really good to have. And then I would come over here, and if enemies hit you, then they are going to be slowed by 25%. You could choose that one. Reduce cooldown of all Ice Gauntlet abilities when casting a ability in the frosted area. You cool it down by 20%. And then I would just come down the tree on the Ice G, on the pylon. And that's going to extend the life of the pylon, and it's going to do more damage. And then you're going to take this, double the pylon's health, and extends Ice Pylon frosted radius to 5 meters. Standing in the frosted area doubles quick frost and empowers frost bonuses. The last two you can pick, whatever you feel like you want to pick. I would come over here and critical chance increased by 15% when hitting an enemy in the frosted area or with frostbite. Increase critical damage to Ice Gauntlet abilities while stamina is full. So you can walk up, you put that down, you got the frosted area right here. Then you can put the shower down, then you can get to your Firestaff, and you can start doing your abilities right there. And you can really start doing some damage here. And then if the enemies get too close to you and you need to back up, you put a shower right there. He just got haste from it. You put a shower right there and they were not going to be able to come through you. Okay. And then you can just go right back to putting the storm down. Now keep an eye on your mana because it's going to cost some mana when you're using all this. So as long as you're fine with the mana pots, this is a really good combo for ranking up because you're going to be able to slow the enemies, stop the enemies, burn the enemies, continuous damage without you even having to do anything. As you can see, it's still burning the heck out of them. And then you can put your pylon down to distract enemies, put that there to do some damage. Need a mana pot, but I don't want to drink it because it's my only one. You could slow and stop enemies. You can also give yourself haste if you want to help move you along. So both these weapons are really good. Let me know if you'll be ranking up with this one. I do suspect this is going to be a very popular build for a lot of players starting off because it is magic weapons. It does look dope, especially the Firestaff. It's one of the best looking weapons in the game when you get that rune on the ground, and just having this dash really is nice. So that's the Occultust build. Once again, you just put your attributes in int and you'll be fine. Very simple, very easy to start off with. And as you progress, eventually you'd like to get to 10% heavy attacks, you know, bonus right here in strength, because that dot's pretty important. So yeah, that's the Occultist build. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see y'all in the next video. We're going to be going over the Mystic build, which is Life Staff and Void Gauntlet. I'll see y'all in the next video. Later.